Archaeologists discover an Atlantis-like metropolis at the bottom of a lake. And apparently, it's in Kyrgyzstan. So we finally have an answer for what the fuck is in those countries that end in Stan and aren't in the Middle East. Underwater cities, apparently. Plato's legend of Atlantis has come to life once again, with archaeologists from the Russian Academy of Sciences having just discovered traces of a submerged city, destroyed by a devastating 15th century earthquake underneath Kyrgyzstan's Lake Issyk-Kul. I think that's an L and not an I. Issyk-Kul? I think it says cool. I'm kind of blind today. It does. Yay! The 8th deepest lake in the world. Also, new knowledge. I did not know that. The city at the flooded Toru Aigir complex, which lies near the lake's northwest point, has now been excavated by the explorers, who surveyed 4 underwater zones at shallow depths ranging from 3 to 13 feet around the lake's shoreline. Why did you show me a stock photo instead of the real photo, you fucking whore article? There, they found a wealth of everyday items that painted the picture of a once thriving metropolis or large commercial agglomeration? Discoveries included multiple fired brick structures. One contained a millstone, which was used to crush and grind grain, caved-in stone structures, and wooden beams. In one of the zones, archaeologists also believe they found what was once a public building that could have served as a mosque, bathhouse, or school, also called a madrasa. That's also really interesting. In the 3 others, remnants of some kind of burial ground, a 13th century Muslim necropolis, a large cemetery typically belonging to an ancient city, and mud brick structures in round and rectangular shapes were also discovered. There were also burials found that showed evidence of traditional Islamic rituals, with the skeletons facing north. Their faces are turned toward the Qibla, the direction Muslims face during their daily prayers. I completely forgot the name of the black cube. All of this confirms that an ancient city really once stood here. A representative from the Russian Geographical Society who funded the expedition told the Daily Mail. I had no idea that there was such a large, ancient Islamic population in Kyrgyzstan. I guess the stand should have clued me in that it probably would have been more Islamic, but I don't know. Those kind of stands I associate more with, prior Russian bloc areas, so I don't know. They worship the steam machine. What the heck? The lost Toru Aigir settlement sat on a major section of the historical culture-accelerating Silk Road, where merchants would trade silk, spices, and precious metals, not to mention thoughts and ideas between China and the Mediterranean, from the 2nd century BC to mid-15th century. Experts believe the complex once thrived, but went under when a terrible earthquake hit near the start of the 15th century. Valery Kolchenko, the lead expeditionist and a researcher at the National Academy of Sciences of the Kyrgyz Republic, shared with the Daily Mail. Luckily, Kolchenko and his colleagues believe the area was abandoned by residents before the natural disaster. Oh, at least they were able to get out. They did not end up like Pompeii. Scientists believe the Toru Aigir settlement sunk following a massive earthquake. That's cool. He's got a giant pot piece or some shit. I would cream myself if I was part of an archaeology expedition and I found something like this. I can only imagine how excited these people feel. So many parts of the world that have been sparsely explored or not even at all. Yeah, I wouldn't know exactly how to do these things, but if I had the disposable income to just be able to go somewhere and do an archaeological dig, that is probably what I would spend that disposable income on. So Kotaku said, there's just no way Clair Obscur Expedition 33 should be up for the Indie Game Awards. The multi-million-dollar game has entered itself into multiple Indie Game Awards, which doesn't feel right. Didn't Pal World fund itself from millions of dollars with just 2 guys, and they were yeah, we put up our life savings because we really wanted to do this. Wasn't that the thing? I remember reading that article about it years ago. How dare they escape Corpo and be successful? You gotta beat them down because they escaped the actual industry and made something good.
The only thing a crab is good for is holding back other crabs. A crab don't want to see another crab make it.
Yeah.
The perennial discussion of what constitutes an indie game is both tired and tiring. It's a term that, in the end, no longer means anything at all, and as such, the fights over what is allowed to call itself one are mostly futile. It's best just left alone. But then came the annual awards reserved specifically for whatever an indie game actually is, and suddenly, the whole contentious topic is thrown into a harsh light, along with which comes a realization. We may not be able to say what an indie game is, but we sure can say what it isn't. And that would include a multi-million-dollar game made by hundreds of people. But if they raised those funds themselves and they weren't getting, like, outside millions of dollars of funding, and they're not people who are under AAA studios, would that not be the definition of indie? Am I crazy? Yesterday, the Excellent Indie Game Awards announced their lists of finalists. It's a fantastic ceremony that not only champions the very best in indie gaming, but also shines lights on minority Oh, didn't people get really mad at Expedition 33's development staff for being too white and French? Wasn't that a thing at the beginning? Here we fucking go, brother. Anything that doesn't conform to the rules of the industry is berated, overly criticized, and ignored from awards considerations. Because if you don't make games inserting the message, it means you're making games for chuds and gamers. Can't have that in current day. Yeah, like, I'm a fairly sizable indie VTuber with a fairly sizable influence that outranks my actual, like, numerical size. Number 4 just on YouTube, by the way. But I wouldn't expect to ever even get a mention in a VTuber awards show because I'm not part of any kind of clique. If the studio isn't owned or affiliated with a major publisher or company or conglomerate, they're indie. That's what I felt like, right? Like, Crime Boss was an indie game, and they got, like, an indie game grant from Epic. That's how they managed to get, like, all of the Hollywood voice actors when everyone's like, who the fuck is this studio? Mexico is in a full-scale war zone. Rioters are now fighting police, and police are fighting back. Citizens are calling the Mexican president a narco-president and demanding change. I mean, they're not wrong. That poor fucking guy! That was like 3 police that just booted him in the fucking skull! That is horrible! Holy shit! I cannot blame the people of Mexico for doing what they're doing here, considering if there was a non-American elected as president in my country, I would be pretty fucking upset too! Not even to mention, if to get elected, many of the other people running against her and people running for mayoral positions just mysteriously got assassinated beforehand. I feel like Mexico is very much in a position of, it's time to do something about the state of your country. And then, let's see, we got a trending tab here. Thousands of Gen Z protesters marched in Mexico City and other cities on November 15th, demanding action against cartel violence and government corruption following the November 2nd assassination of Uruapan Mayor Carlos Alberto Manzo Rodriguez. I think we talked about that on stream. By a 17-year-old gunman in Michoacan. Demonstrators attempted to breach security barriers around the National Palace, leading to clashes with riot police, who used tear gas and made 12 arrests. President Claudia Sheinbaum attributed the unrest to opposition orchestration amid the 7th mayoral killing in Michoacan since 2022. But yeah, hopefully they can actually do something here. Hopefully they can Nepal it up in Mexico. I believe in you, Mexibros. Fed up Mexicans are storming the National Palace. That looks cool as fuck. That's smoke. When did they have time to erect a, like, armament wall around the palace? It's incredibly inspirational when I see shit like this happening, dude. There's a short thing here to show how many people are there. Battle in Mexico City in the main square Zocalo while patriots battle with police protesting the presidential palace. Officers launch tear gas and bullets. Mexico rises up against Scheinbaum. Fucking based, dude. When I see shit like this and like Nepal, and there was another country recently that did something similar to this, and I'm forgetting which one it was even though I already covered it, it genuinely gives me hope. Madagascar? Was it? I don't think it was Madagascar. That's so many people. This is like, you can't arrest all of us tier, you know? It was Madagascar? Man, I forget things so easily. Don't do that. Don't give you hope. No, we need hope, man. Fighting back against the globalist is based, dude. Godspeed, Mexico. What else is in here? Mexico's devolving. Here's another video. Yeah, get him in the nuts!
Get it!
That's really scary that he has one of these like lock cutting metal scissor thingies, because like you can geld men with those, man. Bolt cutters, that's what they're called. Thank you, chat. Not my locks. If I was a non-cartel affiliated police officer in Mexico right now, I would genuinely have to ask the question in my brain, do I want to just follow orders and suffer the consequences? Or should I do the right thing? Here's another video. Damn, this one loud! Just gonna say US aid gets cut and a lot of socialist governments lose power. Good. I do not want puppets to be elected and funded and fuck up these other countries more. I don't like when other countries meddle, and I don't like when my country goes in and they're like, it's for democracy. It's like, no, it's not, you fucking government stooges. Good for them. Was someone screaming abuela? I have no idea. What is this? Breaking: protesters have stormed the streets of Mexico City, scathing President Claudia Sheinbaum as the narco president. She's bought off by the cartels. Mexico must either use their military to wipe out the cartels or let the US do it. That would be interesting. What do you mean, Kirsche? They're just following orders. Anti-Shine. Ooh, they're climbing the walls! I hear they're good at that. That's actually a good point. Why did Scheinbaum think that a wall would actually protect the palace? Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, that guy's wearing skinny jeans. Ollie Wally, thank you. Would love for Mexico to be a place you can visit again. True. I can't read what's typed. Wait, is that a fucking One Piece flag? Is that a fucking One Piece flag at the revolution? And it's not even a communist one this time. That's great. Oh no. You didn't know Hassan was like, yeah, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Fucking commies have been trying to co-opt this shit for ages, so it's nice to actually see it used for a decent reason. A based revolution flag. Huge crowd of Mexican Gen Z anti-cartel protesters have torn... Hey, there's another one! There's another One Piece flag. Things are getting rowdy. We saw that one. More tear gas. Protesters arrived to Zocalo in Mexico City. The crowd is starting to bang on the wall protecting the National Palace and are trying to cut through the wall. Just climb it, bro. heroes, a group of Gen Z youths have just painted Narcostado, that's what it said up there that I couldn't read, on the wall that protects the National Palace. The government had erased a small graffiti that said the same thing, and now they painted it giant. Everyone to the streets on November 15th. I love seeing this, man. I fucking love seeing this. Anti-Scheinbaum crowd in Mexico City continues to attempt to tear down the security wall. I hope they succeed. I hope they succeed, and they can fucking take their country back, bro. Dog shoots owner in the back after jumping on shotgun left on bed. Is this the first, like, recorded incident of a dog shooting its owner? We need some common sense dog control out here, man. Kaya's finally fighting back. Talk about a rough day. Pennsylvania man is now hospitalized after his dog allegedly fired a shotgun at him, injuring him in the back, according to the Shillington Police Department. We literally live in a simulation. At approximately 11:13 p.m. on Tuesday, officials received reports of a shooting and that a 53-year-old man had suffered a gunshot wound to his back. Police said in a press release obtained by ABC News. While police were on their way to the scene, officials were informed that a dog had jumped onto the bed and set the gun off. Once at the scene, officials found the man on the floor and conscious. Well, that's good. The victim told police that before the incident, he was cleaning his firearm, which was identified as a shotgun, and had placed it on his bed. He then proceeded to sit down on the bed, at which time one of his dogs jumped onto the bed, causing the weapon to fire around into the man's lower back. How does that even happen? And also, why are you sitting on your bed to clean your firearm? Shouldn't you be, like, at a table, brother? What is this? You dumb fuck. Cleaning, loaded, sure. The dog shot him before he could shoot the dog. That's what happened here.
It was a remake of Old Yeller where the dog gets the drop on him and kills him first.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
At the time of the shooting, the victim and his son were the only individuals at the residence, along with 2 other dogs. The man's son was allegedly not in the same room when the gun was fired by the dog. After paramedics arrived at the scene, the man was transported to a local hospital where he immediately went into surgery for his injuries. This was a shotgun, and I'm assuming it was like roughly point blank range. That's kind of a miracle he wasn't like more damaged. On Wednesday, hospital staff told police the man underwent an initial surgery but would need an additional operation on either Wednesday or Thursday. The extent of the man's injuries as of Thursday is unknown, police confirmed to ABC. The shooting appears to be accidental, but police said that they're still investigating the incident. That's so goofy, man. That's so goofy. How does, like, what are the odds of this happening? Why were you trying to clean your gun on a bed? Why was it still loaded? Poor doggo. You know, they put dogs down when they bite, but do they put dogs down if they shoot you? What are the legal repercussions here? Tiny Christian colleges in places like Kentucky are acting as visa mills. And this is an Expose H1B fraud account. Jaw-dropping video from Lindsay Wilson College. Entire graduating class is from India. The scheme: pay $2,670 per semester, attend 1 class, and get unlimited, no cap, no lottery, work visa for high-paying tech jobs. 3,461 foreign students enrolled here in 2024. That seems kind of wild, actually. Like, how does this even happen? And, like, nobody who works there says anything. Nobody who lives there says anything. How does this happen for so long is my question. You work in academia, you got a student that had to be referred for using ChatGPT on an assignment. You found out he spoke 0 English and was in a 4XX class, which was the last year. That's like that article we read where it was like some family came here illegally or whatever. No, not illegally. They were Puerto Rican. Never mind. Some family came here from like Puerto Rico, managed to live in a very upper class area without any job or income in Connecticut, sent their children to the schools in Connecticut. Their children never learned fucking English. And one of the daughters ended up using ChatGPT for all of her assignments and graduated and got a scholarship to college. It's like, how the fuck are they getting all of the money to live in these areas? How the fuck are they getting the money to do these things? How the fuck have they not learned English going through our school system? And how the fuck has nobody seen anything wrong with this child using ChatGPT to do their assignments? Why is she getting a scholarship? That article, when we read it, was absolutely fucking rage-inducing. Absolutely rage-inducing. Americans have a shrinking population, along with more Americans opting out of higher education. If colleges don't accept foreign students, then they will go bankrupt. Good. Let them. The communists have made their bed. Let the institutions lie in it. Dude, they're even like on their phones in the middle of the fucking ceremony? Are you kidding me? This is at the Lindsey Wilson College, December 7th, 2024, the Bigger Sports Center. What next? Are the Christian colleges going to build a Ganesh statue for them? Someone losing their job because of the push for AI. You're pretty sure if you voice your opinion on it, you'll lose your severance package. Jesus. Oh my god, is that an actual white dude? Hold on. Is this an actual white dude? Did we find the one? There's a second one. He looks like... Why is he wearing a Hitler mustache for his graduation? Hold on, wait a minute. Oh, he's not. It's just a... He has a really big nose and it's casting a shadow. I was like, hold on, wait a minute.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Day 1 CPT visa at Lindsey Wilson lets foreign students work for any U.S. employer from day 1 of enrollment. They only need to visit campus once per semester. It's basically a backdoor for workers who do not get the H-1B visa. It's even worse than H-1B scamming then. Someone here tried saying Lindsey Wilson College did not have over 3,400 international students. They said, check the official numbers here. 2024 top 500 F1 schools by number of active CVIS records. And we're looking for, what is it? Fucking Lindsey Wilson. Lindsey Wilson College here. 2,505 enrollees. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, New York University, 25,600. I guess apparently they have some kind of fucking program that allows them to get the work visas as long as they attend 1 day per semester at the college. Pay $2,670 per semester, attend 1 class, get unlimited no lottery work visa for high-paying tech jobs. You know? Dan Oingo Boingo, responding to a Daily Mail thing that said Kash Patel hired deputy FBI director with no background check in extraordinary vetting breach, which is a little weird to say. And Dan Oingo Boingo doing something I would probably do in this situation because, you know, the liars aren't going to stop lying, but you want to at least have the truth out there, says, I'm sincerely sorry for wasting your time on a weekend with nonsensical media fairy tales. I do realize the act of addressing this puts even more eyes on it. However, I work for you all, the American citizenry, on our nation's top national security issues, and I can't allow false headlines like this to stand. Claiming I was hired with no background check is just a lie. It's a complete fabrication. I held a security clearance while protecting Democrat and Republican presidents for over 10 years. And all of the background check requirements for my current position as Deputy Director of the FBI have been met. Those are the simple facts. Again, my apologies for wasting your time on this, but I work for you and you should know the facts. I'm honored to serve in the Trump administration along Director Patel as your Deputy Director, and I will continue to hit the gas pedal on crushing violent crime and securing the homeland. God bless America and all of those who defend her. It's crazy. It's a lie, a complete fabrication. The Twilight Zone supercut is playing in your head. They checked Patel. They made sure he'd be the best patsy money could buy. Dan Boing Boing shouldn't have to respond to this. He shouldn't. Nick Sortor said, the official X account of the Democrat Party has deleted their post claiming President Trump spent Thanksgiving with Jeffrey Epstein in 2017. He was literally the president. You don't think someone would have noticed? Trump should bankrupt the DNC for this. And the deleted tweet is, Documents show Donald Trump spent Thanksgiving with Jeffrey Epstein in 2017. At the time, Trump was already president and Epstein was already a convicted sex offender. Yeah, if this was true and real, this would have been trotted out immediately. This would have been something everyone would have screeched about. This is something that, like, Maxwell would have said immediately after she was arrested. And it's like, at this point, with how much back and forth there's been, anything that comes out, I don't think anyone on any side is going to believe it. I don't think there's anything short of literally every politician that exists currently being on the list. No one's gonna believe anything that comes out. And especially after the FBI was just like, I don't know, we lost the documents, man. They could have been destroyed already. And so anything coming out now, how are we supposed to know that it's real? Like the email with the victim that was a known woman that came out and said Trump did nothing wrong around me. Yeah, that was Virginia Guffrey. How do we know they were not destroyed during the Biden admin because they couldn't use it to get Trump? We have no idea. We have no idea what happened to any of the files. We have no idea what happened to the testimonies that we haven't already seen. We have no idea if things have been destroyed or if they've been kept somewhere or if somebody took them. We have no idea. And with how much, like, political baseball has been played on both sides with this, I don't know how anything could be released that would be remotely believable. Which is incredibly frightening to think about because it's like, these are files that should have been released. These are files that everyone should have known about. It shouldn't have mattered who would have been implicated in the files, they should have been released. Because having a pedophile financier trafficking minors to very powerful men in governments around the world, yeah, while that might be some delicious fucking blackmail opportunity for everyone, it should be released for everyone to know about, and it's wild that it never was. Big question, how many foreign government officials and celebrities would be implicated and how many would be called crazy? I don't know. During a congressional hearing, Jeffrey Epstein was texting Congresswoman Plaskett, feeding her questions which she proceeded to ask, I don't even have words, and this is a video released by the Washington Post. Newly released documents reviewed by the Washington Post appear to indicate that during a 2019 hearing where Michael Cohen testified, Jeffrey Epstein was texting with Delegate Stacey Plaskett at the Virgin Islands. The Post reviewed multiple video feeds from the hearing and matched the texts which were sent in Pacific time with the video.
When Barack Obama was president of the United States.
And it says, text from Jeffrey Epstein sent 1 minute later. You have the timestamp up here in the corner, February 27th, 2019, 10:40 a.m. Eastern. And then the text message, 2/27/19, 7:41:42 a.m. Again, that's Pacific. Message, are you chewing?
States. And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented.
Sent from Delegate Stacey Plaskett. 2 minutes later, at 7:42 a.m. Pacific time. Not anymore.
That only black people could live that way. Attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even...
This is February 27, 2019, 2:25 p.m. Eastern, and then it says text from Jeffrey Epstein, 2/27/19, 11:24 a.m. Again, that is Pacific for the text. He said, Cohen brought up Rona, keeper of the secrets.
Today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Are you going to review it in our next...
And then she texted him back at 11:25 a.m. Pacific and said, Rona, with 2 question marks.
Next break to correct the record, yes or no?
Yes.
Question, you helped out the...
And she texted him again at 11:25:41 saying, quick, I'm up next. Is that an acronym?
The president's campaign, or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman, even in your words today. It was your idea for the campaign.
11:26:07 a.m. Pacific, he said to her, that's his assistant. 11 seconds later, by the way. Oh man, I love it when I text someone so quickly that like their message comes in at like 11 o'clock and then I'm 11 o'clock. They have a response at 11 o'clock. I respond again at 11 o'clock. You know, there's like 5 or 6 messages before a minute even passes. I love that shit. How many parliaments are compromised then? And why would we not immediately clean them out and start general elections? Nothing ever happens, bro.
Campaign dating back to 2011. Is that accurate, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization?
They are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So, Alan Weisselberg is the Chief Financial Officer.
Uh-huh.
The
You got to
Trump
quickly give us
organization.
as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
As Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is the Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his.
Sent from Jeffrey Epstein 2 minutes later at 11:34:43 a.m. Pacific. Good work.
And she's involved in a lot that went on.
And it's like, this could be 100% something that happened. This could be something that was made the fuck up. We don't know. It looks like it lines up in the timeline. She was texting someone. They even talked about her chewing, I'm guessing, tobacco. So it could be a very real thing that lines up. But who knows, considering how much fucking tomfoolery has been played with these fucking files. Epstein said Trump was a bad guy, the worst guy that he knows. That means Trump is a bad guy, because a bad guy said he was bad. P.S. Miss Plaskett is still in office. Jeffrey Epstein's errand girl has not been removed, not reprimanded, not censored, nothing. All of Congress should be ashamed. Crackpot theories, the FBI got rid of the files and have made their own so they can damn or bolster whichever side they want. It's a very shitty situation, because if things had actually been handled correctly, I feel like we would be in a better situation. Right Angle News Network saying, it's been revealed Democrat Representative Jamie Raskin was involved in a plot where prison staffers stole Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney-client emails and funneled them to him, which he then leaked to the media in an attempt to smear President Trump. He has the same face as Zohran Mamdani. And I don't mean like they look the same, but when you look at them, it's not a human face, it's a mask that should make you feel like an evolutionary, deep-seated fear. You know, like the uncanny valley, this isn't a human, this is a predator, and they want to do something terrible to you. It's just something about the facial features, and I don't know how to describe it, but like when you see that kind of face, like you know it, like you feel it in your bones, man. So this is a Los Angeles, California, Friday, November 14th for immediate release statement by Leah Safian, counsel to Ghislaine Maxwell. The release to the media by Congressman Raskin, Democrat Maryland, of Miss Maxwell's privileged client-attorney email correspondence with me is an improper as it is a denial of justice. Congressman Raskin is a ranking member of the House Oversight Committee, an attorney and law professor. He must be aware that his conduct undermines the legal process. His actions should be a matter for professional disciplinary action. There have been appropriate consequences already for employees at federal prison camp Bryan. There have been terminated for improper, unauthorized access to the email system used by the Federal Bureau of Prisons to allow inmates to communicate with the outside world. The provision of those emails to a federal official who then caused them to be shared with the media is a breach of constitutional protections, including the First, Sixth, and 14th Amendments afforded to all prisoners. Dressing the improper action up as whistleblower information does not mitigate the fact that the mails were both illegally obtained and put to unconstitutional purpose. It is clear that no effort to fact-check the credibility or veracity of the so-called whistleblower was made by the representative or his offices. For Representative Raskin to seek to make political capital from such publication and from the content of personal emails between Miss Maxwell and a family member is both shocking and reprehensible. Regrettably, this is just the latest example of Miss Maxwell's constitutional and human rights being ridden roughshod over. This began in July 2020 with her 2 years of tortuous incarceration in solitary isolation. I don't really care what the fuck they do to her, I'm gonna be completely honest here. And suicide watch at the infamous MDC Brooklyn, followed by more than 3 years at FCI Tallahassee, an institution that the DOJ's own Inspector General on independent investigation found to be filled with black mold, with inmate food contaminated with rodent droppings and infested with insects. Ms. Maxwell will shortly be filing a habeas petition with the federal district court. Habeas petitions are distinct from petitions to the Supreme Court, and that they relate to prisoners' rights and conviction challenges. Contrary to Rep. Raskin's assertion, Ms. Maxwell has not requested a commutation or made a pardon applicable to the second Trump administration. Prior to any such application, a prisoner needs to demonstrate that all possible avenues of appeal have been exhausted. In Ms. Maxwell's case, her habeas petition provides the court with material evidence not available at her trial in November-December 21. In the 4 years since the verdict, new evidence has indeed come to light and is continuing to do so. The habeas petition demonstrates that had this evidence been available, it would have had material impact on the trial's outcome. It also demonstrates unequivocally that significant government and juror misconduct occurred pre, during, and post-trial, making the verdict at the very least unsafe. It shows that Ms. Maxwell has every right to expect rapid and meaningful relief from the court, thus potentially obviating the need for any further action relating to her imprisonment. So obviously the lawyer is going to argue within the best interest of Maxwell. I don't really care what her treatment is like, I'm going to be real about that. But this is in regards to, and I reread this article on stream, I want to say last week, where it said that letters between Maxwell and her lawyer indicated that she was going to seek commutation of her sentence from Donald Trump. And I was like, there's absolutely no way that that should be allowed, and if Trump were to be taken seriously ever again, he should not commute that sentence. And as it turns out, those correspondences weren't her seeking commutation. It was her talking about as like a final option of an ask after she goes through habeas corpus because of the treatment of her in prison, which again, I don't give a shit about. But those were apparently obtained illegally by this fucking masked guy here. He's a pathological liar, and client attorney privilege is a foundation of the justice system. Yeah, it's a little kind of creepy that he was like, it's time to do illegal things to get a hold of emails I should have no access to in order to try and smear a political opponent of mine. Like, he's not even trying to find more information about like Epstein or who was on the list or anything Maxwell did that could be terrible. He's just trying to find anything that could smear Trump, which is a wild thing to do. Prison fires staff who leaked Ghislaine Maxwell emails, and lawyer wants punishment for Jamie Raskin. Workers at the Texas federal prison camp housing Jeffrey Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell have been fired for leaking emails in which she described the cushy conditions. And the Democratic lawmaker who purportedly made them public should be punished too, her attorney said in a fiery statement Friday. Leah Safian rebuked House Judiciary Committee ranking member Jamie Raskin, D. Maryland, that's this masked guy here, over the publication of messages in which Maxwell raved about her treatment at federal prison camp Bryan, even praising Warden Tanisha Hall for helping her send and receive documents needed for her unsuccessful appeal to the Supreme Court. The congressman is a ranking member of the House Oversight actually Judiciary Committee, an attorney and a law professor. He must be aware that his conduct undermines the whole legal system. His action should be a matter for professional disciplinary action. There have been appropriate consequences already for employees at federal prison camp Bryan, Safian went on. They have been terminated for improper, unauthorized access to the email system used by the Federal Bureau of Prisons to allow inmates to communicate with the outside world. The provision of those emails to a federal officer who then caused them to be shared with the media is a breach of constitutional protections, including 1st, 6th, 14th Amendments afforded to all prisoners. This is part of like the letter we just read. The emails from Maxwell 63 were published by NBC News on November 8th. And see, this is where things get a little dicey with the legalities for me, because like, if somebody were to attempt to do something similar to this, not because they wanted to smear a political opponent, but because they wanted to get information on the Epstein list, on Epstein's clients, on the things Maxwell did, if they actually were doing this for the good of the public and not trying to be like, look, she's going to ask for a commutation, I'd be like, I don't fucking care. I don't fucking care that they did that. How about Maxwell denying her victims their constitutional rights? Yeah. That's like, I feel like she is such a disgusting human being that if someone was trying to like access these emails illegally for the sake of getting out all of the information they could that our government has been withholding from us, that would actually be a good thing to have done. The fact of the matter is that that's not what this guy did. That's not what his intention was. And anything he leaked didn't even have any information pertinent to that. The following Monday, Raskin fired off a letter to President Trump claiming that a whistleblower had told him Maxwell was preparing a commutation application for your administration to review, undoubtedly coming to you for your direct consideration. Which is completely unnecessary. Who fucking cares if she files for one? What matters is the results, not the filing. In Friday's statement, Safian claimed that Maxwell, serving a 20-year sentence after her December 2021 conviction for federal charges of grooming and sexually abusing young women, has not requested a commutation or made a pardon. What? Application to the second Trump administration. Instead, she claimed Maxwell would soon file a petition in Manhattan federal court challenging her detention based on new evidence that would purportedly have had a material impact on the outcome of her criminal trial. In other emails, Maxwell favorably compared the conditions at Bryant to her previous incarceration at a federal prison in Tallahassee, Florida. The kitchens look clean too, no possums falling from the ceiling to fry, unfortunately, on ovens and become mingled with the food being served, Maxwell wrote in one message. The food is legions better, the place is clean, the staff responsive and polite. I haven't seen or heard the usual foul language or screaming accompanied by threats leveled at inmates by anyone. She wrote in another missive on August 8th. I have not seen a single fight, drug deal, passed out person, or naked inmate running around, or several of them congregating in a shower. I'm much happier here and much more importantly, safe. I don't really... That's fucking... I don't care. Like, why? What? The leaked emails are just the latest example of Miss Maxwell's constitutional and human rights being ridden roughshod over. Once again, I don't really care. She was a child trafficker. Why would anyone care? Stated Safian noted that the Justice Department's own internal watchdog described the Tallahassee prison is filled with black mold. We read that on the other thing. A spokeswoman for the House Judiciary Committee Democrats insisted to the Post that the fired workers were whistleblowers who wanted to expose Maxwell's preferential treatment. Any effort by BOP to intimidate, silence, or retaliate against anyone, including inmates and staff, with information on Miss Maxwell's outrageous preferential treatment is unacceptable, she said, adding that there was no sharing of privileged information with the media. The emails were the privileged information. They're fucking attorney-client privilege. What do you mean? Would somebody please think of the humanity of checks notes child traffickers? Yeah, right? Judiciary Democrats will continue to demand answers and expose the truth as we get to the bottom of the effort to cover up this administration's obscene coddling of a convicted sexual trafficker and abuser. What does her placement in a prison have to do with Trump? I guess is my question. Weren't they... 2021 was under the Biden admin when they were arrested, right? Like, what? Because Biden did so well with the case. Like, I don't even think, like, I could blame Biden for anything, but, like, they were arrested under his fucking thing, weren't they? DNC mad they can't kill her and lie about her evidence? I guess. That's such a weird thing to say. Since 2005, Dems had Obama, Biden, all three chambers 4 times, Senate or House majority 12 times. They have no moral ground to stand on with the release, even if Trump is guilty. And if he is, he'd be a piece of shit. I'm not going to defend someone if they're actually implicated. But we have no actual evidence he's done anything besides he met with the guy a handful of times, and then once the guy tried bringing minors to his resort, he banned him. And then he participated in helping the investigation against Epstein. So, like, I don't know what people really want. President doesn't usually micromanage which prison to send convicts to. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't make sense. We have an update to the Doordash lady story. I don't remember if I brought this up on stream previously. I think I might have. But if you guys don't remember, there was a Doordash lady who opened the door to some guy's house and he was naked on the couch, and she made a video about how she felt sexually assaulted because he left his door open and thus was sexually assaulting her by being naked in his own house asleep on his own couch. And it turns out DoorDash driver who was fired for sharing a video of a customer and falsely claimed she was sexually assaulted has been arrested and now faces felony charges. Good! Punish women who lie! For the love of fuck! How many men's lives have to be ruined by lies of sexual assault before things happened? I love to fucking see this. Livy Rose Henderson, instead of leaving the customer's meal at the door as instructed, entered his home, found him asleep on the couch with his pants down, and recorded him. After posting the video all over the internet, she claimed she had been sexually assaulted and even filed a police report. What a dumb bitch. The customer reported the incident, which led to an investigation and the deactivation of Henderson's DoorDash account for violating privacy policies. Henderson now faces 2 felony charges: unlawful surveillance for amusement or profit, an unlawful dissemination of a surveillance image to sell or publish. That's fucked up.
3 days ago, October 12th, 2025, I was a victim of SA by a Doordash customer while I was doing my job as a Doordash driver. Excuse me if you've already seen this. This is my 3rd time posting this because TikTok keeps silencing me and taking my videos down and giving me strikes.
Based TikTok! And I can't believe that's a word that comes out of my fucking mouth. Holy shit. How shitty of a human being do you have to be where I'm like, thank God TikTok did the right thing?
So if I get one more strike, you guys, I'm just letting you know right now my account is going to be banned.
Good.
So I'm going to try to word this as chill as possible to avoid getting this video striked. So on October 12th, 2025, the Doordash customer requested that their order be left at their front door.
Why is it always the cute ones? It's to disarm you and make you think like you're actually getting a good woman when in fact they're a spider. Don't trust them.
When I arrived at their front door was wide open. Their lights were on. And they were sleeping on the couch within eyesight of the front door with their pants and underwear pulled down to their ankles, and they were indecently exposed to me. I got this on video, and I'm not even...
Personally, I know that guy in chat called her cute. She doesn't have severe fish face like a lot of Zoomers. She kind of has a bit of the fish face. The eyes are not super far apart, but there's something about the shape of her head that gives the fish, even if the eyes aren't super wide apart. I like, this is what I'm saying. What are all these like fucking Innsmouth people that have been popping up?
I'm gonna be posting the video clip anymore because I'm pretty sure that's what's getting me the strikes. But yeah, I reported it to Doordash, and Doordash did ban the customer. And then 2 days later, Doordash banned me, which doesn't seem unrelated. I appealed, and they were supposed to respond to my appeal within 7 to 10 business days. They didn't even provide me a reason for my deactivation. They're supposed to send an email. They didn't.
She looks
so
polygonal,
and they told me to continue with my appeal without knowing a reason why.
PlayStation 1 fantasy NPC looking ass.
And then you still have to explain yourself. So I did. And within 12 hours afterward, they had already denied my appeal. So I'm really never getting my Doordash account back. Doordash deactivated me. Doordash punished me for exposing my assaulter, and TikTok is currently punishing me for exposing my story time. And this is the only justice I'm getting because I also reported this to the police, and the police are doing...
I feel like justice is also a red flag word now. When people talk about getting their justice or getting my justice, you know, the no justice, no peace kind of thing. And I hate that this has become that way because that should, above everything, be a word that is not molested.
Doing nothing. So what? You're gonna take down my videos and give me strikes and just expect me to be like, oh, I just better shut up. I just better sit here and be quiet. I just better not say anything else. I've lost my...
That would have been the correct thing to do, actually, instead of continuing to lie and ruin this guy's life.
Job, my only way to pay my bills and make a living. I've also gotten assaulted, and the police are doing nothing to help me. So let me just shut up. You know, the videos got taken down. Nobody has to know what happened to me. No. I'm going to keep telling my story. Like, this is the only justice I'm getting, is exposing this man.
She's so fucking happy that something like this happened and that she was going to get her moment of claiming victim points and, like, farming attention and pity. It is so horrendous how some people get so fucking excited over this. Like, there were even, like, some of the people who were trying to, like, you know, do the cancel campaign shit on me this year. They're like, well, nothing actually happened to her. I mean, she says she's making so much money, so shouldn't she be happy? And it's like, what? No, I'm not happy. That doesn't matter. Like, yeah, I'm glad things are better for me, and, like, your plans didn't fucking work, but holy shit. How tone deaf do you have to, like, I don't want to go through that.
Exposed pepperoni aioli. I'm a victim.
And having posted that video and it has gone viral. Like, now he can live with shame and embarrassment if people have seen it and knows who he is or where he...
Considering she's getting arrested and sent to prison, I hope she lives with the shame and embarrassment of what her pursuit of attention and likes has gotten her.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one being punished. He's not getting in trouble with the police. He didn't lose his job if he has one. Like, what's going on with him? Why am I getting fired?
I'm a woman! Why am I not able to ruin his life as easily as it was before? This is unfair! Look at all these other women who are able to ruin men's lives. I need to do that! What a fucking cunt. What a piece... Like, look at this disgusting smile on her face, too. I am so glad she's actually getting repercussions.
Why are my videos getting taken down and why am I getting strikes? Like, I'm about to lose my account. I was assaulted. I'm the victim. I lost my job. I'm the victim. Right? Is this making sense to any fucking body?
These people do not live in reality, and that is what makes them dangerous. The man provided the police with his Ring camera video where it shows her opening the door. The appearance of section 110 in front of the blah blah blah. 1 count arrest charge. 1 count arrest charge. Top charge. Description. I can't read. Amusement. Proclivity. Yeah, we read what those were. I can't read that. It's a little blurry. The controversy surrounding the sexual assault claim levied against the company Doordash has taken a dramatic turn, after the man at the forefront of the viral outrage was arrested on charges of a felony offense. According to the authorities, the women's story did not align with the evidence, while what began as a call for justice has escalated to a criminal case. Internet users are still grappling to understand the twist in the stories. I hope this is just an error because they used AI to help write this, because after the man at the forefront of the viral outrage was arrested, because I mean, I hope that man wasn't arrested. I hope that was just an error on the AI's part here. The controversy began when a TikTok user named IRL Monster High Doll posted a clip on the platform TikTok on October 12th, stating that she was the victim of sexual assault while she was driving or delivering food. She then claimed that her account was deactivated by Doordash, the company, without any reason, as if the company was penalizing her within just 2 days. She also reported the incident to police, but felt that her complaint was not being taken seriously. The emotional clip went viral in no time as people rallied around her in support, calling for accountability from the company. I really hate that this happens. I think collectively, if people see something bad and they go, well, if this happened, this is bad, but I would like to wait for more information. Should not just believe. Doordash, while the clip went viral, so did calls for an investigation into the incident to confirm whether it was real. According to the police account, the suspect, a 23-year-old woman named Livy Rose Henderson, visited a customer's address on October 12th to deliver food in a contactless drop-off manner. However, she proceeded to open the closed entrance door and went inside. She found the customer asleep on the couch wearing his trousers down. She recorded the incident but later posted the blurred footage of the act on TikTok, claiming she was sexually assaulted. However, footage from the Ring camera revealed that the customer did not invite her inside. The detectives later determined that he was not intentionally exposing himself, nor was there any evidence of sexual assault. Can you imagine if this guy didn't have a Ring camera? If you are living right now in a place that does not have a doorbell camera, you should fucking get one on a Black Friday deal. Much like police body cams have done so much for having us being able to see what actually happens in arrests instead of just having to believe people, doorbell cameras are an absolute fucking necessity. And personally, when I do get a house, I'm not only going to have doorbell cameras, but I'm also going to have a full security system that has 360 surveillance of my entire property. I just think that's smart considering the position that I personally am in. On November 10th, she was arrested for charges related to 2 Class E felonies, unlawful surveillance, as well as the dissemination of unlawful surveillance images. Each of the charges has a potential penalty for up to 4 years in prison. She'll never get 8 years, but God, that would be great if she did, considering the amount of malicious lying she did in order to farm pity points. The police say she illegally entered the dwelling where she recorded a private individual in a vulnerable state. The company has confirmed that the woman's account was deactivated for breaking safety protocols. The company also banned the customer as the police indicated the client would not be charged. I hope the fucking customer gets unbanned. Like, personally, if I was in a situation, I would never fucking use Doordash again. Right? Like, they would have to come to me with like a massive check and be like, here's money, and also you're never gonna have to pay for any delivery fees on our app ever again for the rest of your life. That would be the only way I would ever use Doordash again after this, but he should absolutely be unbanned. Can you imagine? I have barely seen any information about this, and apparently this happened on November 10th, so almost a week ago. I have barely seen anything about this on Twitter. If this was a man that went illegally into a woman's home as a Doordash driver and recorded a woman naked on her sofa, Twitter would be on fucking fire. But since it's a man, no one's fucking talking about it. Like, his privacy was violated in more than one way, and that's incredibly fucked up. He was banned. He had repercussions for this vile woman's lies. Come the fuck on, dude. If the sexes were reversed, the delivery driver would probably be dead. If it was a man, he'd be in for years. Like, he would probably get the full fucking 8 years off of that, you know? Quite literally committed 3 crimes with that action combo alone. Yet she probably doesn't even realize it yet. It'll be wondrous This would be something I would watch this if we could view the trial. I would watch this entirely.